Greetings, I am Lies, and I use she, her.
And I am Scandal, and I use they, them.
And
let's play a game together. Yeah.
You're right. I cannot hide here for the entire masquerade.
Just part
I
of
would
it.
miss it if I did. Much as I would like to. I've never been the partying type. But I assume everyone else wants a party.
Nadia brushes her hand lightly over my cheek, and then smooths her jacket down and turns to leave the maze.
Goodbye.
We didn't even get into the maze. We just hid. I guess we hid
The bushes,
partially
we
in
hid
the maze.
against bushes.
Yeah.
And so the bushes were part of the maze.
Right.
I guess.
I guess we went into it.
Oh, you probably go into it in the premium scene.
You probably do.
And
I
so
was
it
gonna say I
probably
think it's a
assumes
transition.
you're in it because that's the transition out.
Yep, that's
There
it.
we go.
When we reach the veranda, she turns to me, frowning.
That is the most frown. That's exactly what I think a frown looks like, you betcha. I do not regret hunting Lucio down, even if it got in the way of these preparations. I don't think it was hunting Lucio down that got in the way of these preparations, so much as everything, because the preparations have been going on for days.
I'm like, that
Because you went out earlier a couple of days ago together when people were getting ready, and you were surprised that everyone loved you and liked you.
I'm also just like, even if it got in the way of these preparations, you yourself and now the apprentice has been party to getting in the way of the preparations, actually, because you just abandoned a bunch of people who went, hey, we need help. We've tried all the solutions, I assume. I don't know what to do.
It also would be, I think, more accurate based on what we've done in the story to say you abandoned the preparations for finding Lucio's murder.
Yeah.
Not for finding Lucio. Like, it was, these need to happen while I'm doing this so that they're ready by the time I'm done with this.
Yes, because you were
But it
assuming it was
wasn't.
all going to neatly wrap up into...
And the thing is
yeah.
it wasn't about finding Lucio. It became about that, but you've spent days finding Lucio's killer, which has been far more in the way.
Which has also been far more in the way of going, we're going to go hang out with the courtiers, and then we would resist hanging out with the courtiers and only do one per day, apparently.
These preparations. But, if what we learned is true, if Lucio truly does intend to return... When did we learn that? When he was yelling at us in forest? Did he say I'm coming back?
Wait. No, I think it was vaguely with the High Priestess, right?
Did
Where she's
she
like, he's not done or something. It was the implied, it could be anything, could become back he.
I didn't think she talked about it. I thought she was just, I need to know this thing. Look inside yourself. I will.
Okay.
Remember
Actually,
that
I
part.
don't remember it either.
I think I'm going to need to look up where that was. I don't even know.
I'm actually like, I don't think in her route explicitly there's ever been actually a pointed thing going, he is coming back, period.
Yeah, like I said, I have no memory of
The
it.
only thing I have, as I remember, Asper going, he's not dead, but he's also not alive. Basically, he's undead.
Exactly, but
I don't
I'm like,
understand.
if he's truly coming back, what are we talking about?
What?
But I must do everything to strengthen my position in the city before that happens.
But you don't
So
know...
that way people will like me better than him. Even though they all hated him, and by all accounts they've hated him. And everything of him, except for that nice statue in the middle of town, is all defaced. I need to make sure they like me better.
Well, they are... This again, where I'm like, I don't understand Nadia's push to going, I need to be more than him, I need to be more than just him. I'm like, honey, you're already in the minds, like in the eye of the people as far as we can tell. You're way better than him, just by virtue of not being him.
You have much higher approval. Okay, but I need you to know...
And also, even, like I said, even the other courtier who, like, we fought with, like, you have better approval than him.
Based on the story we've encountered so far, everybody has better approval than Lucio, simply by not being Lucio, and then it goes up from there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I've just strengthened my position. Also, again, the narrative of you don't really want to be doing this, you're just doing this to prove something.
And also
it's
the
not
fact...
what you want, it's what you're trying to prove.
So also what kills me is you literally then just had a scene right before this that to me completely invalidates this because you willingly ran away from all your responsibility to, quote, strengthen your position. If strengthening your position involves being more involved with the city and being more visible, you just literally fucking ran away.
And would have been completely willing to also just dally around for a while, because you're not going to turn down the premium scene.
Yeah, like, what?
And
no!
So yeah, she goes from, and it really does feel like they're building a narrative of, she's doing this because she feels she has to assert her value in her place with her siblings.
Yep.
And not that she wants to, it's her personal motivation. I feel like there's a bit of like identity loss here. Of going, Who I am is things I need to do to prove stuff to other people. But going, what do you like?
Okay, so thematically, though, in regards to the story, I think we have a problem here.
Okay.
Was that they were like, if she's too driven as a character, we will not literally, as far as they would go for writing tropey romance stuff, you wouldn't be able to do the same stuff that you would expect. Which is ridiculous, because I could think of about 35 million different scenarios that you could have with a character who is deeply driven and wants to do shit and get shit done, and still be able to flirt and romance and make out and all that other shit. Like, please.
Yes.
Like, I think they're, like, one of the reasons why I was, like, so strongly because I really was thrown for a loop of going, you literally just had the main character go, time to run away now, when we just said we're going to be responsible. We've been trying this whole time to go, Nadia going, I will be responsible, I will be responsible.
We've said we'll be there to support you and help you do it.
Yes!
And then it was actually, Nadia, I was lying completely. I'm not going to help you do this, and I'm going to divert you from it. And she's going to be like, wow, I love diversions.
Yeah, because actually, in some way, I'm like, I don't think that the writing knows how to handle having a character that is like, I want to do this and I will do this, I will be a driven character. You can have a driven character who makes mistakes. Like, it's actually really easy, because she has literally 3 years that she doesn't know anything about, and she goes, I don't know anything about really what's happened in this whole time. You can have somebody who makes errors. She doesn't remember shit. That's actually a really easy thing to go where she goes, I'm going to make so many fucking assumptions based on the only other 3 years of knowledge that I have and all of my other problems of trying to cope with my sister, basically, complex, or my sibling complex, because you also have to include the other sibling. But I'm just like, I don't understand. Like,
I can say,
was that too complicated?
A lot of people write romance in a very specific way, and it's the only romance they have.
Yes.
And if you can't fit the type of character that you're trying to write into that, the tropes come first, usually.
Yes.
Okay. Before that happens.
So basically, this is a romance game, and the character comes second.
Yes. As well as your plot comes second to smoochy cuteness.
Yes, exactly.
It's there, and they want it to be there, but it does take a back seat.
Yep.
It may seem silly, but this masquerade matters to the people of Vesuvia. I hate masquerades and parties and would rather just sit up in my tower and read a book. But it matters to them. It must go off without a hitch.
We've already had this line. We've actually basically heard this argument before, and I'm wondering if this is more to Nadia, like Nadia to herself.
Again, it's to her again. Also,
her trying to recenter, going, okay, I need to stop running again. I need to stop running again. Like, she does this over and over and over again. And
she doesn't want to be here.
She doesn't.
She's trying to make herself do something that actually isn't natural to her and isn't what she would do on her own.
Which is really interesting, because her entire complex is literally about, I need to do all these things, and if it's involving her siblings, if we're even going to say that point even exists anymore, because I'm like, I think structurally, they think they just dropped it, which is weird.
Well, you know,
because that would fit really well with this.
Once my sisters got involved in teaching you how to dance, then we were all good.
Yeah.
We're all Gucci, even though we haven't all seen each other because they're not all here.
Yeah.
I'm worried there's not enough time to get everything done.
Well, that's why we weren't running out in the maze, because why? It's fine.
I just dallied with you for 3 hours in the maze in another timeline, and I'm worried there's not enough time to get things done.
We could ask our sisters, we can do it alone.
We could use the staff! Oh my god, we could use the goddamn staff!
I think at this point, like, there's more clarity of going, not only should we basically think about other people, but also, like, just with Corazon's character going, like, you literally can't do this. We have to ask other people, and you are really not the person I thought you were.
And if I'm only allowed to think of your sisters and nothing else, then I'm going to suggest that.
Right. There's also the thing to consider in this particular case, for why I keep going Corazon going, you're incredibly capable, and going, you can't do it alone. That doesn't necessarily mean that Corazon expecting going, of course you could do everything because that's ridiculous, but also a level of going, you know how to dictate, you know how to delegate, you know exactly what your limitations are. You're going to either try to do other things to expand those limitations, to become greater than what you thought you were. Like, you're going to try to do more.
So, one of the ways one of the ways to be a really powerful, competent person is to know what you're not good at and hire other people to do it for you.
Yes.
And not just hire people to do things for you, to do the shit you're not good at.
Yes.
When I was studying, like, when I was looking into potentially starting a business, and when I was definitely, like, the several times I've researched trying to write a book, which I've never done, but I've done it. I've done the groundwork, the footwork. I'm so familiar with all the pieces of writing a book, except the writing. I'm just gonna tell you, like, all of it. I say, is that if there are things that you don't know, go ask someone who does know. And if you're trying to start or run a business and there are things you don't know, go get an expert who does know. I don't know how finances for a business are going to work. Go find someone who knows finances.
Right.
I actually don't know how to market dog products, but I have this really good thing that I want to do with a store concept. Go find someone that's passionate about marketing dog products. Right. And so you delegate out not only the work that needs done, I'm going to need a cashier, I'm going to need shelf stockers, I'm going to need someone to do, the books, but you also delegate the skills you don't have. And since you're leading all of those people, all of their power is a reflection of yours. You are very powerful.
Yes. And that's the thing where I'm like, I don't understand where the narrative, I guess the endings have to do then here, or like the choices have to do with Nadia's basically super self-centered versus Nadia is super giving and everybody gets along,
she's super self-contained even,
maybe?
or just
but also
self-possessed,
which is really funny to me because I'm like, Nadia literally can't do it alone, as we've already shown. Just without choosing, Nadia cannot fucking function. She keeps running away from responsibility. I want responsibility. I deserve responsibility. I'm good at things, and then she just runs away.
Herself, at the very beginning of this, admitted she can't do it alone because she asked for the magician's help.
She did, though.
Like, the thing is she literally went, I'm having trouble with dreams, and I have this thing I need help with. So in that one case, she was able to ask for help, and now she's put absolutely every help she'd ever needed on this one person, instead of adding more with different skills, different abilities.
Which is
so we could ask your sisters.
We could ask your sisters, since that's the only other group of people apparently I can think of to ask.
Yes, because Corazon can't think of anything else. Or Corazon is going, the reason we would ask your sisters is because you don't seem like you're capable of leading your staff right now, and they clearly all have staff.
Yes.
So if I said we could ask your staff, it would make you need to lead and direct them, which you clearly can't do right now for whatever reason.
Right.
But it's clearly Corazon. So I'm going to ask we should ask the other people who lead and direct servants.
Yes. We're going to ask your sisters for help.
Ask my sisters for help. Only a short time ago, I thought of it.
The thought.
Oh, the thought of it would have made me ill. But you're right. To be honest, they have not been as frustrating as I remember them being.
Yes, because you've apparently had that character arc in a really weird way.
Because, again, once they taught you how to dance, they weren't frustrating anymore. That seemed to be where it went away. It seemed to stop that plot arc right there.
Because I'm not kidding, she brought up her sisters almost, like,
constantly
before that point, and then it just went away. That's the thing of where we're talking about, like, this was a big part of Nadia, and then it just, boom, it was gone.
But I never experienced the resolution, so I'm not...
Neither did I!
So it happened, it seems, but I didn't experience it.
Yes.
Which is frustrating in itself, because I wanted to keep my anger. I wanted to feel justified.
Which is relatable. I've actually had that problem, and I've discussed about it before on this channel.
Yes.
Of going, it has been frustrating to go, okay, the things with your family have happened, so what?
And they also aren't relevant anymore.
Yeah, and they have apologized for tons of things.
And it's over.
And it's over. There is literally nothing else they can do.
But I want to stay angry because it was so awful.
I think also at the same time, though, some of it is so fucking motivating. It gives you a purpose. It gives you an identity.
Oh, anger drives you so much.
Oh my god.
It's like, I've been in the revenge business so long, I don't know what else I would do.
And actually, that was one of the things that I did as a child. I was deeply angry as a kid. Like, furious.
And it motivated you.
It motivated me. It was the only thing that kept me going. And now that in a lot of cases I will admit that you don't have a lot of anger, you go, what do I do now?
Driven by rage and hormones.
Yes.
That's it.
That was Scandal.
Yes.
Scandal in a basket. Like, right there.
In the basket.
Here's Scandal. Hello! I am here for you! Yeah, pretty much.
More and more, I wonder if we were all just misunderstanding each other. Now you come to the same... I don't think they were misunderstanding...
This doesn't...
Okay, wait. I don't think they were misunderstanding you. I think you were misunderstanding them.
Yes.
And I don't know why you've started wondering that. What would catalyze it other than, well, now we're getting along so well. You haven't spent any time together except for that one bit, basically.
So again, I was going to say that I feel like what's happened with Nadia, weirdly enough, is that there's so little connection to who she is as a character and her internal process. Like I said, so many of these points would mean so much more if she would talk more. I'm actually really stunned how non-verbal she is, and how much like she won't exposit anything about her life or her story or her emotions or her state or what's going on. I'm like, we have so little connection. I don't care about these plot beats any. Her, she has big transformation of character. It happened over there. Like the thing even we've mentioned, like with meeting up with the high priestess again, with sort of her process and who she is and connecting. I'm like,
It all happened
so...
in her head, and she didn't share it.
Uh-huh.
She's not the type of partner that will share things.
No, she's not, and I don't know what we're doing here. It's fine.
If we were all just misunderstanding each other. And again, it seems like all of your other sisters, based on your perception, were on the same page. They adored you and thought you were amazing and wonderful and did great, and they liked that you were learning all of their things, and you perceived them as being awful and controlling and condescending, and they were confused as to why you were so aggressive towards them.
Yeah, actually. And we did mention that, even with the way Nadia herself describes them.
Yes.
Both my friend and I, if you can go back and watch it, we were like, they sound like they were doing fine. So they sound like they were trying to help you and they were trying to, support you.
The only thing I've got is they were misunderstanding you I guess they were misunderstanding why you were so fucking pissed at them all the time.
Right?
But it doesn't, no, I don't agree. Nazmira has always known how to throw a good party. Navara has a good sense. Navra. I want another A in there. Navara.
Nope, it's Navra.
Navra. I need it phonetic.
You do.
I do. Okay, so my friend encountered this really fun thing where for dyslexic people, when they're trying to read a script, like I'm doing here, and they're not familiar with a name because there's a lot of predictive reading involved in dyslexia.
Yes.
So you're trying to learn a new word when you've got a name that isn't something you can predict linguistically. To write it out phonetically, so that way you don't have to memorize what that new thing is to read it predictively.
Yes.
You can just read it and not have to guess at intonation or organization of things, and then have it, either in a dyslexic font or spaced out with the whole, pronunciation of phonetics. You have the dots between them and stuff. That makes it a lot easier to read because it's in much smaller chunks for a dyslexic person.
Yes.
And so, yeah, there was this thing that my friend found. Was it on Instagram or
No,
Tumblr?
actually, it was on Twitter.
Twitter.
So Dominic Noble, who does the abridged, so he does basically abridged judging, I guess. So he compares books to movies, which are the adaptation of books to movies, and going, how well did they do? How well did they stick to the story? How well, what have they changed?
So it's not really abridged judging, because he's not judging how it's abridged.
No.
What he's doing is he's judging adaptations.
He's judging adaptation.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was Dominic. I know the Dom. I know the Dom. And so he had this suggestion for dyslexic readers, and I didn't know that he was dyslexic.
Yeah, he's
Which
dyslexic.
is wonderful, and I support that. Not that more people need dyslexia, because it's a fucking pain in the ass, but things to help us are great.
Yes.
And so that would help me. Navra has a good sense for decoration.
Of course, though, in this case, I understand why they didn't do it, and also, if we were doing, say, a script that nobody could see, it would make more sense.
That's where it would work. You wouldn't really want it here where everyone could see it, because it would confuse other readers who don't need it, unless they were all in the know.
Right.
I say, and Nahara will keep them both from being distracted. 1, I don't think either of them should be doing those things themselves. I think they should be directing the servants to them. But I also think that you're of such a class of assumption that means she has a good sense for decoration, meaning she can direct servants to decorate.
She knows the people to hire, to buy, to do whatever, to do the decorating.
Or she knows how to tell the decorators how to do things.
Yes.
From being distracted.
I mean, either that or they're basically like my mom, who's a white woman, who's like, no, see, I know fashion. And I'm like, yeah, of course you do, honey.
Very well. I suppose it is worth an attempt. Well, because your mama is Mormon, and so, long khaki skirt is fashion.
Edward Cullen. I have lust. I am consumed by lust.
It was her fault. She was wearing a long khaki skirt.
I know. With, a long fluffy turtleneck, long
She
sleeves.
was covered from head to foot in a casual, cuddly outfit.
To ankle, neck to ankle.
Yeah, neck to ankle, a casual, cuddly outfit, non-revealing outfit. The height of sexiness.
The height of fashion.
The height
also consumed by lust.
Yes, consumed. So
the man gripping the pant leg. Consumed by lust.
By lust.
All right.
I believe they are in the salon. Why do you believe that? We haven't been here for most of a day.
And we haven't bothered asking anyone. We won't talk to servants. It's okay. Whatever. She magically knows.
I believe.
She has sister senses.
I believe they would be there, because where else would they be?
Plenty of other food?
No,
Get in the bath.
You know what? You're only allowed into your rooms at night. I'm not letting you wander the castle freely or see the preparations because it's supposed to be a surprise. You can't go and see the maze or tour the grounds. There's no riding of the horses. You're in the salon or in your bedrooms, and your bedrooms can only happen at night, so that's it.
Nadia, the tyrant, exposed!
When I host you, you will enjoy all of your frivolities in the salon or nowhere at all. How did we ever get to the ballroom? I don't know.
We have no idea.
It's okay, you don't respect her.
I clearly not, like, she doesn't respect anyone else.
It's okay, no one can see the eyeballs in the paintings, we're fine.
We head straight... Anyway, we head straight for the salon, skillfully avoiding any servants trying to approach, and make it inside without a hitch.
Because we can't... You know what? That's terrible leadership. You can't just tell them in a moment, or I'll get with you, or give them a direction for right now.
Follow me. I will be with you in a moment.
Oh my god, I have done that before. You sweep your way down the aisle,
and people go, "Hey," and you go,
"Hey, can I say, come with me or wait?" They will follow you or they will suck it up.
Yes.
And the thing is that you have to have a good rapport with them, but she has been established to have a good rapport with these people.
Which seems really funny because as far as I can tell, she would have no rapport with any of them / bad rapport.
Additionally, when you do that and you show up to the problem you're actually addressing with 3 people in tow that all have problems that are usually related directly to that problem, and you go, "Let me solve this thing," while they all wait their turn, then they all go, "Actually, that adds to my knowledge and makes it more easier to address my thing."
I've added to my library of information. Boink! Hydra, straight for the salon, skillfully avoiding any servants trying to approach and make it inside without a hitch. There are 4. Read them. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You count to 3, and not to 4, and not to 2, and...
A figure seated in the room, and 3 immediately get to their feet.
Boink! Dia, are you alright? Where have you been?
Nazmira and Navra have been worried sick about you.
I want to know how their parents just produced an entire rainbow. I want to know. Also, the diversity of eye color is unreasonable.
It's okay.
I love it, but it's unreasonable.
It's okay. That also, though, means, like, to me, that could just be a cultural aspect of, like, all their people.
Oh, God, what if they're just all that diverse?
Yeah.
Either that, or what if
I would be super for it.
What if Mom just had a bunch of lovers? You had a nice mix in there?
It's possible.
I use different stats for each one.
Maybe. Maybe. That would
As an empress, I would think you could do that.
Yeah, I would imagine she could sleep with whoever the heck she wanted.
If it's a matriarchal society, and she's like, love that hair color.
Going, you, sleep with me.
You're going to make a baby with me.
I also, though, love the casual implication, so since we've actually seen Mom once through this game, that the white hair has been a thing that she's had for forever. Like, that is just her hair color. It's not the fact that she's older. It's, even though, honestly, I swear to God, she should be in her 70s, so it makes...
still love the idea that she's basically full spectrum light, and that's why her hair is white, and she produced the rainbow herself because she divided herself into colors.
Honestly, that would be great.
That just makes me happy,
I'd be super for it, honestly.
That also works well. On the other hand, maybe you need, like, the different prisms of your various, lovers to do that. I'm not sure if I remember this one. But I know I did her. Do not let Nahara fool you. She was quite worried too. Really breathy, yes.
Yes.
Oh my. Is that a new suit? You look dashing.
You look like Lucio. I've seen your portrait before.
You do actually look like Lucio. You look like a matched set to Lucio. And this is the thing you wear when he's not around.
Yeah. I will be better than him. Everybody, is that Lucio?
The same as him.
Same as him. I mean,
his hips look amazing.
Whoa.
Damn.
But Nadia's eyes are fixed on the 4th figure, still seated.
Is it another sibling?
Sibling!
A new one that no one announced?
Simple, sensible clothing and a calming presence that immediately washes over me, putting me at ease. It's
Sounds
Mom.
like a doctor.
Maybe?
Sounds like a doctor.
But also, why
Mom
your sibling...
doesn't sound like simple clothing.
Oh, that's true.
I'm guessing.
We'll find out. I played them last time. They stand slowly, and then approach, a soft smile on their face.
See? Told ya.
You couldn't have waited to get arrested until after I arrived, dear. I missed all the drama.
Nazali, you actually showed up. That is a level of stunned I can't filter my mouth at all.
I also love the thing of Nadia going, it only fucking took you a month. Whoop.
Yeah.
Because you have to consider that Portia wrote to Nazali immediately.
Upon Nadia
wakening up.
And other people got here first.
Which is actually really interesting. No, hang on. Because the thing is we've mentioned before that we don't understand how travel works in this world, because it seems like some people show up instantaneously and other people just...
It also suggests that Nazali is the only one with a labeled, stated career.
Yes.
So Nazali probably traveling about doing the work of, of doctors.
Are we comparing Nazali? I'm going to say this, and I don't want to make the complete character, enmeshment here, but like Mother Teresa?
No. No. Just like basically your mission doctors, your Doctors Without Borders. I travel and heal things everywhere.
No, that's fine. And I know they say that Mother Teresa, though, did some of that, which is why I was talking.
But she didn't actually heal anybody because she wasn't actually medical.
No, and I know that. And also she embezzled a lot of money, and it's a big, huge conversation. But, I just,
So I would tend to just be more like Doctors Without Borders. I go anywhere and everywhere to fix the problem. By the way, I was all the way out in the depths and the swamps of Peruvia, whatever.
Right, okay.
Peruvian swamps!
But it's also interesting going, you're a royal family. Why do you find that to be interesting? Is it because, okay, so I have a weird question. If they go, wow, this is really impressive, but also it makes it so that you're not embarrassing, because strangely enough, Nazali is also the only one that has another gender?
Well, again, we don't... So... All I can do is assume that the oldest daughter gets succession.
Right.
And that after that, it doesn't matter what anyone does.
Okay. We don't have any. The reason why, okay, you have to forgive me, guys. The reason why I think about that though is because it does seem to pop up weirdly with going, these are the eccentric ones. They ran off and did something else, and that it usually gets paired with either they're gay or they're some form of basically queer. Whether it's I have a non-conforming gender, and I'm like that doesn't read well, especially based on what people have apparently asserted and Nix Hydra asserted. Actually themselves going, oh no, the world is post-gender, and I'm like, but why then is your gender so binary appearing?
Well, that's a thing. Also, I was just say, the world being post-gender, it'd be weird for everything to be so clearly gendered?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you say it's not, it's not poly, and we still focus on basically your standard sort of Christian ideal, monogamous of a man and a woman get together, then you're saying that anybody who's non-binary can't actually rule.
Yeah.
And which is a very gendered thing.
Yep.
Or you're saying it just randomly happened that all the royal examples we've ever seen are completely straight, but straight doesn't matter because
they're really competent looking.
Hang on. But if you're post-gender, there is no straight or bi or gay or anything else. There's no sexual orientation because those are all based on gender. Mm-hmm. Your sexual orientation is literally based on gender. Because if it's bi, you're attracted to two or more genders. If there's no genders, you can't have that. Mm-hmm. If you're lesbian, you're attracted to the same gender when you're a woman, or gay, the same gender. But if there's no gender, you can't be attracted to that.
Yeah.
So the fact that you have the only examples of royals being this is a he, him, and this is a she, her, then, which I assume that's canon for the Empress and her consort or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a guy. It suggests
I'm not going to assume body, but it seems like they are all very
that you don't have royals that are non-binary, or that are the other thing, which you can't have
or trans, basically.
You also can't have non-binary if you don't have a-binary.
Yes,
which is a gender, which is genders. So
this.
But I don't think they've ever called anyone non-binary. I don't think that's the label they use in the game.
The thing is they don't, as far as I can tell. So apparently, if Acer is also supposed to be non-binary, which I think is interesting, they don't ever really say so. But then again, nobody asserts, I guess, that they're a man or a woman, but it's also one of those weird things okay, but this is still our society that we're talking about, and you're writing to our society, so we're getting further outside of the narrative and going, you have to think about your audience. Who are you writing this for?
I'll say, but if we jump back to the original thing, I will say that in a lot of games where there is either gender or sexuality non-conforming character, one that is at odds from our world here outside the game, they tend to have a different and or deviant profession or behavior, something that's less normal than everyone else. It doesn't always happen, but it frequently happens where the cool one is the queer one, and they did something way over there.
What I was about to say, and also they're more coded as basically I'm the outsider still. Like again, so I'll bring up like She-Ra as an example. So like Double Trouble is specifically a non-binary character, but they show up as basically being this outside entity that literally has no connections to anyone else. And even though where they seem to kind of have them, it is I am distinctly the only one of my kind. And again, Nazali is the only one in a huge rainbow. I am the only one who seems to be different. And I'm even talking about like, even if we're going to go, okay, how far do we go with like trans representation? Does it even I don't know. I just don't know how to deal with it.
Again, if you're post-gender, you don't assign gender at birth,
you
so
don't.
there can't be transitions. Unless you consider transitioning from non-assigned to picking your gender a transition.
Maybe then everybody is trans.
Then everybody is trans because they would go from unassigned child to whatever they pick.
Right, because you'd have a child gender, and then you'd have
or if you pick a gender. And then you realize later in your life, even though you selected it yourself, that you will fit something else better because you've gotten more education, then you could transition from that. But it's not the same kind of painful, limiting process. Because I'm choosing for me again and differently.
Right. Okay, anyway.
But anyway, Nazali, you actually showed up.
I would never miss my little sister's debut! Of course I showed! You're gonna knock them dead!
Except for this isn't a debut. Debuts happen differently, but that's okay. We're using the word differently. Debut is traditionally your coming out party the first time you're put out as you're on your own as an adult.
Yeah, I was like, what?
But that's okay.
That's okay. Figuratively, let's avoid another murder trial, just so you know. A ghost of a smile threatens to tug at Nadia's lips, but she quickly clears her throat and shuts it down.
I will not be friendly with my siblings. Except for I will be really embarrassed, I guess. Yes, well, allow me to introduce my Corazon.
Which means my love, which I think is actually really funny. My love.
Yes, it really is. This is, allow me to, the name has been waiting for that line the entire
time. Here we go.
Allow me to introduce my love.
Nazali gives me a mischievous smile and then takes my hand gently between their own.
For some reason I let them, because they're so calming.
No. The answer, don't touch. Yes, my sisters have told me quite a lot about you, Corazon. It's good to put a face to the name.
How? You haven't been, do you mean just now today?
Probably.
Probably just now today.
That sounds ridiculous because the sisters barely know us.
Nonetheless, they could talk about you.
I know, they could come up with whatever they want, but I also find that to be deeply hilarious, going, you really don't know anything. Yeah. They told me a lot, Corazon. Oh, really?
What?
What's the narrative?
And I was gonna say, in the case of someone who doesn't really like to be touched, which I've gone through periods of my life where I just really don't want anyone touching me, and for the most part, I am a fairly contactless person. Like, I love snuggles when I'm in a relationship and I like that person. I am extremely cuddly and please touch me and I want to touch you and oh my god. But with the general populace and even my friends, I just don't tend to touch people. Like, I can feel the I should touch you because it's a thing that make you feel better kind of thing.
Right.
I just say, or the I should allow you to touch me because it's socially appropriate. But if I was in a position of power, like I am literally by the countess's side, and I am free to choose whatever I want, I wouldn't let people touch me. I'd be like, I am in no, like, you don't have power over me. Because most of the time when I let people touch me, it's men who it would make my position and safety awkward or less assured if I told them no.
Yes.
Sort of like at work, if a guy just pats you on the back, good job, and if you turn to him and go, please don't do that, everyone goes, oh my god, you're a weird one.
I've actually had that
or
problem
you're offensive,
too. Yeah.
or you're inappropriate. And
everybody gets really fucking dramatic about it, and I go, please fucking stop. I've actually had one instance, finally, where my friend and I were working, where I was like, stop touching me. And they were just like, oh my god, and it was this huge fucking shutdown. It caused so many goddamn problems.
And everyone was like, well, they're really uptight. Well, they're really touchy. You just have to be really careful with them.
And I was like, just stop touching me. Like, I don't know you. Stop petting me, stop hugging me.
If people don't touch you, then they don't seem to feel entitled to it. But if you tell them not to touch you, then they're offended, they want to touch you. Like I have an AAU of an entire character where she's like, my whole bag is no one gets to touch me, and everyone's pissed off about it.
Yes.
And that is like the media storm around me in my professional career is that people don't get to touch me, and well, that's just so, and it's like, you don't touch other people. Well, they don't tell me I can't. They're not being aggressive like you are.
Anyway,
we're gonna have to put a face to the name more clearly in the next one.
Hey, so thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos. It helps us a lot out in regards to the YouTube algorithm. It will promote us more because there's more interaction. It's a weird, self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
Actually, and it seems sort of silly in my opinion.
But even something simple, like just putting a like on it, does a huge amount.
Yes, but also no obligations. We're not here for that. We just like having you here. Also, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi and our Patreon and our Twitch. We have some links in the description down below. We'd love to see you at one of those locations. And I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you.
Bye!